Well, I mean, listen, the people at the top of these institutions, the buck stops at the CEO's desk. It's Jamie Dimon, it's Lloyd Blankfein, it's John Mack, it's Vikram Pandit. I mean, the buck stops on their desks. And if they don't know that fraud and rip-offs and malfeasance is going on in their companies, they should know or they should be fired. And what we got with the banking deregulation, and this is both Democrats and Republicans. I'm neither in neither camp because both are responsible for the mess we're in. They got rid of the Glass-Steagall Act through the Graham-Bliley-Leach Act in 1999, which is a financial modernization, financial innovation. And what we got was financial poison and leverage to the moon, and no requirement to hold any cash in an account for a credit default swap, and there's trillions of them out there, and the wild, wild west, leveraged to 40 to 1, 80 to 1, 100 to 1 in some cases. And so that's the problem. We need some regulation. If these banks are truly too big to fail, they really are too big to exist. So it's both the bankers, the financial industry, and the politicians who are basically bought off.
Greg, let's talk a little bit about Obama now. Since we last spoke, he announced his jobs program. Is this a step in the right direction?
I don't have hope in it, and the reason why I don't have hope in it is because it's really kind of a tax program. He's trying to do something. You really need capital formation and to get jobs created. That's why all this overseas money, they're trying to repatriate it, and I think they ought to probably do it. And even Bill Clinton, a Democrat, says we ought to cut the corporate tax rate. You need capital formation for job formation, and what we've been creating here in the States is basically debt formation. We're basically throwing good money after bad to the banks. They have way more debt than what we have given them so far. What's the Federal Reserve pumped out? 16 trillion, according to a government accountability report. In the wake of the financial crisis of 2008, we're right back to square one. Why? There wasn't enough money because there's too much debt. So really what has to happen is that a lot of haircuts have to happen, a lot less bailout, a lot more capital formation. So I don't think much of the president's job proposal, because it's really kind of a tax proposal.
All right, Greg. Finally, this is what viewers stay tuned till the end for price forecast for gold. Where do you see it 6 months down the line?
Well, I think 6 months down the line, we could get a kind of a sideways pattern. It's not going to go down much below what it is now. I mean, they tried to, you call it market manipulation, call it people taking profits. People, needed money, so they sold the most liquid asset they had at a profit. Gold had a huge run up. It could just go sideways, but I'd say by early 2012, maybe, I don't know, February, March, you could probably see it stage another pretty big rally. And the reason why is because they're going to keep printing money. All the signs are, every central bank out there, when Tim Geithner says they need to do more of what? Not more of let these guys take a haircut. It's more money printing. So I think this is, this is a big boat. It's not like a motorboat. You can't just turn it and make a sharp turn and shoot up, to $5,000 an ounce. But I think the path we're taking is going to put gold much higher in 2012. And I think by about, I don't know, February, March, it should really be taken off by then. That said, sideways, 1,800, 2,000 an ounce by the end of the year.
All right, Greg, finally, one last question. What do you think about the margin rate hikes that the CME announces? They did one 2 weeks ago, and that caused quite a bit of volatility with the price of gold. Any thoughts?
They say, the CME says, he was on CNBC, former head of the CME, I think. Anyway, a spokesman for the CME said that, they do this because they've never had a failure in 100 years, and they do it because they want to keep the integrity of the markets. And, maybe that's true. But there are those who say, wow, gold's had a big rally, and all of a sudden, pow, they put these big margin calls. Why don't they put big margins on U.S. Treasuries? Why don't they put big margins on U.S. stocks? And so, it leaves you a little suspect to the timing of this. However, these margin requirements are not going to stop the overall trend in precious metals, which is going up because they're just going to keep printing money. So they can slow it down, but they cannot stop the direction this is going in.
All right, Greg, that's about all the time we have. I look forward to chatting with you again soon.
All right. Thank you for having me on Kitco.
And thank you for watching Kitco News. You can email me, as always, your comments and questions at newsfeedback@kitco.com. For Kitco News, I'm Daniela Cambone.